Hi, welcome to Online Appliance Tech. Today we want to show you how to replace the thermal cutoff fuse on the back of the Whirlpool oven or even KitchenAid. Same thing if the bake and the broil stops working. So I already flipped the breaker from the outside. Make sure you do turn or flip the breaker off. To remove the door, you have two little hinges. Well, one hinge on the left and one hinge on the right. You take your flathead and you wedge in between and pull it forward. You want to make sure you take this door off before you slide the oven out. I already removed a couple of screws, so at the end of the video I'll show you how to put everything back together. But this is how you remove the door. You pull those forward and you lift up about, close enough to where the door is about to close, and then you lift up and pull the door straight out. Put it somewhere soft where it doesn't scratch the floor or hurt the door. And now we're going to remove the trim on the left and right hand side. There's a Phillips screw that you do have to remove, and then to get behind this control board you have to pull, or remove this panel, you have to pull the oven out a little bit. But first of all, we have to remove these. So counterclockwise, Phillips screw, and once you remove it you'll just put the screw somewhere safe, and then you'll just pull this out and pull down, and then you'll do the same for the right hand side. Just be careful, sometimes this stainless can be a little sharp, so you might want to wear some gloves. So you have two Phillips screws that screw in through the oven to the wall. I already took these out, so I'll show you at the end of the video how to put it back in, or how to screw them back in. But you have to remove those to pull the oven out, and you have this panel here, right here. Definitely remove that before you pull the oven out also, because you can bend it. I recommend two people with a good sturdy box or crates or something. Even wear some gloves if you're not used to handling sharp stainless material, I guess you would call it. So once you pull this out, this is the paperwork actually. This goes behind the panel here. You have two Phillips screws on each side, one there, and on the other side you have two more. Once you remove these, you can actually lift the front panel up and you can get behind it. That's if you had to replace the main control board. But in this case it's the fuse, which is very common when the bake and the broil doesn't work, especially after self-clean. What happens, the oven gets too hot and it trips the fuse. And unfortunately you have to get to the back of it to replace it. So hopefully your electrician left you enough slack to pull your oven out. If you don't have enough room, you may need to call an electrician to disconnect the hard wire from the wall. So now we're going to remove the back panel. You have a couple, well, more than a couple, I believe it's 3 on each side, 3 on the top and 3 at the bottom, but there's Phillips screws. And like I stated at the beginning of the video, make sure you definitely unplug this. It's 240 volts, so you don't want to touch that live. If you are uncomfortable with doing this repair, just call a professional from the get-go. So now having all the screws removed, you'll lift this or pull it forward and lift straight up. Wear some gloves, don't be like me wearing nothing. This is very sharp. And this is the fuse that trips, so basically the power comes through, and if it can't get through this fuse because it's open, it can get to the bake or the broil itself. So if you have a multimeter, you can check it with a multimeter. I'll actually show you how to check it without a multimeter if you don't have one. So turn it on ohms, and then you'll check these. Well, give me a better light here. I will check this fuse for continuity. As you can see here, we have open line, meaning power cannot transfer through this fuse. So this is definitely my problem. So let me grab the new fuse, turn this off. So this is the OEM fuse. I always recommend OEM parts on jobs like this. So let's get this guy out of here, and then I will leave this in the description below if you're interested in this fuse. Let me see. So this is what the fuse should. So we'll turn on ohms, the little ohm symbol, and then when you hit these two together, that means power can transfer through the multimeter if we had power going through it, just for example. So we check the fuse. You can actually shake it. If it shakes and it makes a little rattle noise, that means it's good. Now let's remove the connectors from the fuse. So just kind of wiggle them back and forth till they come off. Definitely just don't yank on them because you actually yank the wire out of the harness. So this is the temperature sensor. You can actually replace that from the inside of the oven. You don't have to go through the back, just a little extra tip. But back to topic, let's remove this. There's just 2 Phillips screws. And then as you can see, this one, let me get it. If you try to shake it, it doesn't shake. That means it's bad. It means it's locked together. And this one shakes. That means it's good. So if you don't have a multimeter, this is a way you can test it. And if you do have a multimeter, you can put it on the ohm setting, and this is the bad one, so this one will read open line. So this one will just slide back into the little groove. They have a little place. Let me get this ready. Hopefully you have a magnetic type screwdriver or bit, but you'll just align that. Slide it back into this groove, and then put the other one, the other screw on the other side. Then just snug it down. And after that, we'll just connect our 2, once I get this on, connect our 2 wires. So once again, the power comes through the red. Let me show you. Comes to the red, then it goes to the orange, which is burl, then completes this path back to the neutral, vice versa. It goes to the bottom back up. So that's why the bake and the burl doesn't work. Now if your burl works and your bake doesn't, that's not going to be your fuse. Vice versa, if your bake works and your burl doesn't work, that's not going to be your fuse, because if the fuse blows, both of them won't work. So yeah, just be careful here. It's very sharp. Lift it up and then slide it in at the bottom. Usually it has a little groove that you have to slide into. As you can see there, it slides into it, and then you align everything up. Make sure it's nice and aligned. All the screws are kind of in the right place. And then you'll press it in. I always like to do the top screws first, or something to hold it into place. And just be careful. So now let's install all these screws. Now since we have all the screws in, we're going to take this and line it up with the hole where it slides into. If it's 2 of you working together, just make sure not to hit your walls when you slide it in. But once you get it in, or started, I would say, you can just kind of press up and then just slide it straight back. Just when you slide it back though, make sure you align it with the screws that you removed from the wall that holds the oven into place, as I'll show you here in a moment. Now since I have everything in line, I'll just lift up and just slide it straight back. At this point we can remove whatever you have holding it, and then we can slide it back the rest of the way. Now we can remove it. Okay, so make sure you press it in and align it with these two screws. When you do install these screws, make sure that you put them in the same way you took them out. So sometimes they're put in at an angle, so definitely just go in the same angle, because if you try to go in a different way, you can make the hole bigger and then the screw will not hold the wall oven into place. And also just snug it, don't over drill, because you can do the same thing. You can strip out the inside and then you'll have to get a bigger screw. So this is the bottom panel. This is what you need to remove before you pull the oven out. If you do pull this out, the oven out without removing this, you will bend this, and I'm sure someone will not be happy. So just line it up and just put your it's usually just 2 Phillips screws that holds it. So this is what you'll remove before you even pull the oven out. Now we'll install the side trim. So you'll slide it straight up into the lower part of the control panel. It slides right in, and then you'll press. Has two, well, I would say a line that goes into this bottom panel that holds it into place. Vice versa, or the same thing on the right, I would say. Me and my vice versa. Slide it up, and then press it into this little groove at the bottom. And this one's giving me a little bit of trouble. And then you'll just install the 2 Phillips screws that holds this into place. And now we're going to install the door. So slide the hinges in where they go completely in, or as far as they can go. And then as you press in, you'll not pull down, but press down the door. When you press down the door, or open the door, I would say, press it in where the hinges stay aligned, and then slowly press down. And these clips should be aligned correctly to the housing of the oven, and then shut the door gently. And if it doesn't shut easy, that means start over. But just watch the video again if you have any questions. So there's a model number if you need it. Go ahead and turn the oven back on. It's the breaker box from the outside that you have to turn off, usually 4 prongs, or 2 breakers I would say. Before you work on it, you want to make sure you turn that off. So let's go ahead and start this and test it out, and make sure everything works right. So great, everything's working. I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any questions, just leave in comments below. I will try to get to most of them, but I can't get to all of them. And like and subscribe for more future tips and videos. Have a good day. Thank you.